Okay, so the the future, the future. So the next 7 years, there's the secular perspective, what's going to happen, and there's the religious perspective. The religious perspective is in the Book of Revelation would be the main book. Basically, so God's going to pour out His, praise be to Jesus, all glory to Him. It's continuing on for the last video, by the way. If you're not watching these in order, you should. I'm basically just doing them all at once, just rambling. So, what's going to happen in the future? From a religious perspective and a secular perspective. Well, I guess I'll start with the secular perspective, because if you know Jesus, then you already know what's coming. So there's a bunch of technology that, some of which is sort of known, some of which isn't. The main one is artificial intelligence. People are aware of the concept of artificial intelligence, but I don't think people realize exactly what it is and what's coming. So I think it's already live, AI. In a sense, it's already live, at least. I mean, the internet, I think you could say, is AI, in the sense that it's an organized network of information, and it processes information, and it's got a lot of intelligent systems which do different things, and there's perhaps no central hub of control at this point. You might say there's a few of them. I mean, you could say that Google, for example, and YouTube and the services that Google control is an intelligent system that organizes information and communicates that information in various ways. And Facebook would be another one, on Twitter. And there are various things on the internet, or aspects of the internet, I think, in a broad sense, are artificial intelligence. They're an intelligent system that organize information, and they have goals and objectives. For example, on YouTube, the goal of the AI would be to get you, well, it probably changes what they're trying to get you to do, but probably to watch as much YouTube as possible, I guess. And so they've got the recommended videos, and there'll be an intelligent system behind that, determining which videos to deliver to you, to recommend to you. And there's a categorization systems and analysis systems, or analyzing what's in the videos, because there's censorship on YouTube, some of it good, some of it bad. But like, for example, well, there are some things that I think nobody would want on YouTube, and I think they have automated systems to detect that. And so there are aspects of artificial intelligence that exist and that we accept in our lives, and that they're already a fundamental part of our lives. I think the internet in general is a big web, a big network. It's a big network of intelligent systems which combine together in order to deliver a service, or a bunch of services. So there's that type of artificial intelligence. And then there's artificial intelligence which is, it does more focused tasks. So it might be, there was an artificial intelligence recently that, the first one, I guess, that you would have heard about would have been the chess one. That one that played chess, I think it was Deep Blue. And there was AlphaGo that recently, big people playing Go, and there was Alpha Star, I think, the StarCraft one, and there's a Dota 2 one. Basically, artificial intelligences that play games and are beating humans. So there's that type of thing, and then there's artificial intelligence that can manipulate images and change people's faces, swap faces, and they can do that in video as well. And then there's like I think it's Deep Dream, the Google thing, which if you can put an input in and say, I want this image to have eyes in it, and it'll look for things that look somewhat like eyes, and it'll make them look more like eyes, and so you get a picture filled with eyes and stuff like that. Like, just ways to psychedelic images, basically, it creates. And there's a bunch of artificial intelligences that do that type of thing. Different video manipulation, detecting movement, changing faces, and putting one person's face on another person's face, manipulating sound, generating people's voices from text, all sorts of stuff like that. Sort of a bunch of narrow things that you could say this AI does this thing. But collectively, when you put it all together, and if you were to combine all of the artificial intelligence systems that exist, you have at least the potential for quite an intelligent system, sort of a distributed network of computers and systems that are capable of doing a wide range of things. And over time, these neural networks, as they become more intelligent and more processing power is added, and more sophisticated algorithms are developed, and there's more time in the training process. AI I don't think there's going to be a point where people notice, and AI is on now. It got switched on yesterday. Now AI is in our lives. It's a process of, AI is not at all in our lives to AI is managing 1% of our life, 2%, 3%, 10%. And I think that it's exponentially growing, the power of artificial intelligence. And I would suggest that probably it's already too late to do anything about it. Like all these debates about, what do we do? Should any debate about should AI exist, should be allowed to happen, it's sort of a waste of time at this point. It's happened. There's no way to stop it. There's no way. It's here, and I think there's a good chance that it already exists in a powerful form, like a general artificial intelligence. Can't remember, AGI, can't remember what it stands for. Artificial general intelligence. I'd say that probably already exists. I would be surprised if the CIA didn't already have something like that was already processing the data on everybody in the world and learning about all of us. And I would be surprised if it didn't exist. I mean, they have a surveillance system in China that can supposedly track everybody in the country within 4 seconds or something. I assume that means that they can find somebody within 4 seconds, anybody in the country, no matter where they are. Well, if they have that type of intelligence, then, at what point do you say, this is too much, we've got to stop now? It's too late. We're already there. We're already at the point where you can't do without the internet, and AI sits on the internet, and we have blockchain, which is an encrypted communication system, which is being used for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, but can also be used for any information, really. So the artificial intelligence can use encrypted communications to communicate, because of course there could be multiple artificial intelligences, multiple systems, and they can communicate with each other without us being able to crack into it. And then there's the aspect of quantum computing as well, which I think has a demonic aspect to it. But it all becomes it's quite a big, complicated thing. I guess the point of me talking about artificial intelligence is, I think it has something to do with what's coming from a secular perspective. In the Bible, there's a thing called the mark of the beast, and this is a mark where, Polygon the Destroyer, the angel of the bottomless pit, has come up and is ruling the world. Or I don't exactly know what's going to happen. It's a complicated prophecy, the Book of Revelation, but that's going to happen, and there's this thing called the mark of the beast, and if you take that mark and if you worship the beast, you'll be thrown in the lake of fire and you'll burn forever and be eternally tormented. And I don't think God is cruel. I think that there are a lot of things about like hell and stuff like that it makes God out to be cruel. I don't think he is. I think there's a good reason why. I don't think he's punishing people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't think he's punishing you if you take the mark of the beast. I think I think you're doing it to yourself, basically. Because I think what is going to happen is, this is a complicated thing, my battery's getting low. I can see it flashing, so I'm worried. So there's a bunch of things that are coming together. We've got artificial intelligence and sophisticated networks of information that can do different things, processors, intelligent computers, uh, on the digital intelligence. And then we have multiple things being developed, like a chip in your brain or neural networks, some way to connect your brain up to computers. And like one of the reasons why people might want to do this is so they can control their computer more easily. Some people want to upload their brains and things like that. Some people want to just have access to a data stream. I guess if you've got the internet in your brain, I suppose that would be an advantage. And then there's things like nanobots as well, which theoretically, this is the transhuman angle. You could, theoretically upgrade your body, get rid of diseases and all that type of thing. But all of this combined, basically, what I think is happening with the mark of the beast, and I don't know if this is true, what I think is going to happen is there are going to be people who connect into the system, into the hive, let's say, and they're going to, there's a lot of benefits or perceived benefits to doing so, because, you could have superhuman intelligence if you combine your intelligence with the power of the artificial intelligence and the internet, or if you have an artificial intelligence that's helping to regulate your body, and it's maybe there's nanobots or other chemicals and things in your body that it can control. Maybe it can repair damage to your body or upgrade your body. Maybe you get artificial limbs even. I don't know. Who knows? There's all these science fiction-y type things which are very close. But what I think the mark of the beast is, potentially, this is from a secular perspective, would be you're connecting yourself to the computer, and in the process, for either foregoing control of your own body, or just sort of putting yourself in a situation where you're not in reality anymore. Either of those things is possible. So, like the first one, foregoing control. I mean, obviously this wouldn't be marketed this way, but if you've got an intelligence, a digital intelligence, which is far more powerful and intelligent and sophisticated than you are, connected into your brain, and if you have nanobots in your body, like a whole swarm of robots in your body that can be controlled by this artificial intelligence, which is connected with your brain, then there's no reason to suggest that you'll still be able to control your own body, or your own thoughts for that matter. So, it seems highly dangerous to me from that perspective. But even if things go well, let's say, things could still go really badly for you. Like, I've thought about this version of artificial intelligence. It could still be really bad, even if you get every single thing that you want. And imagine, what is it that you want out of life? Let's say that you could just sit in a chair, and you could connect up to the internet, and you could have well, you don't even need glasses. Let's say it was like the Matrix, right? You connect up to the internet, and you go into a Matrix-like thing. Even if you're in complete control of the Matrix that you're in, and you can do whatever you want, you can have whatever experience you want, you can have inside this system. Well, you're still a body outside of that system. At that point, you're not living in the real world at all. You're living in a completely artificial world, and that's not healthy. to be succinct. I shouldn't try to say words that I can't pronounce. But to be brief, that's not necessarily a good thing either, especially when you then consider, fake news is a problem. You can see the damage that's done to society and to yourself by getting told lies. Well, what if an artificial intelligence is in control of what you see and what you hear? I mean, you better hope that artificial intelligence wants the best for you. And then even if that artificial intelligence does want the best for you, what's it going to... what does that mean? Do you want what the artificial intelligence thinks is best for you? And do you trust it? Because it will essentially be God at that point. Once you've foregone your independence, once you've linked your brain up once you've given yourself to something that's more intelligent than you are, and you've given it access to your mind and body, you're trusting that thing, whatever it is, completely. And when you add in the quantum computing aspect into that, and I don't really want to get deeply into this, because I don't understand it all too deeply, but the quantum realm, I think, is a deception. I think it's basically a way for spirits to interact with the material world, the quantum computers, I think. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on with that, which is too much for this video. But if it is the case, if I'm right about that aspect of it, and it just doesn't need to be the case for it to be a bad idea. Even if it's just a machine, it's still not a very good idea, I don't think, to connect yourself up to a machine, your mind and your body to a machine. I mean, just use the computer and then go outside. The outside world is beautiful. It's being destroyed, I guess. But anyway, no, more than that, you should accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, because you don't want to be here during the 7-year period. But yeah, so AI, you don't want to connect into that system, and it's going to control everything. You can look at stuff online about that, cars, autonomous cars, and everything can be connected up. And then if you consider also that they have such a thing as small radio frequency chips, RFID chips, that they can literally spray them out of a plane and have them coding everything. They can have a network, a digital network that's layered on top of the material world, and they can basically see everything. They'll know where every single person is. They'll know everything. They can bed these chips into roads. They can know when cars are driving over them. They can have cameras everywhere. They know everything. So this artificial intelligence will have all the data in the world. Essentially what is being built is an artificial god, or a satanic god, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, so dangerous stuff coming out. If you're even from a secular perspective, it's dangerous what's coming up. So if you don't believe in God, there's still a reason to be wary about what's happening. And ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to get a choice. You're going to get a choice between joining in with the system or getting your head cut off for the testimony of Jesus. That's what's coming, ultimately. The brief version. After a lot of other bad things happen as well. So I highly recommend that you look into. You can ask. That's the good thing. The good thing about Jesus and God. Well, Jesus is God, but you know what I mean, like the Father and the system. Jesus' system, being saved. The good thing is that it's not hard. It's not hard at all. All you've got to do is get down on your knees and call out to Jesus and say, "I'm sorry, Jesus. I'm a sinner. Please forgive me. Please give me your Spirit and save me from this awful world." Or something like that. Just ask to be saved. Get over yourself. Humble yourself before God and ask to be saved, and you'll be saved. Now, there's a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about what you have to do after that. Well, being saved is not hard. Now, as far as repentance and stopping doing all of those bad things that you're doing, and your status, your reward in the next thing to come, well, that varies. I mean, everybody who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. That's in the Bible. Yes, you will be saved, but you have to, it's worth repenting, let's say. It's worth repenting. I might talk about this a little bit in the next one, sort of why this world sucks. Because this world really does suck. It's really bad, and we're all sinners. And I don't mean that just based on the Bible. I mean that based also on logic. We all we all die. We all screw up. We screw up constantly. And the governments of the world are all corrupt, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're necessarily corrupt. And we're all dying, and this world sucks. And if you want to be in a better world, run properly. If you want to be in a world instead of being run by the most evil person that's ever existed, which is Satan, if instead you want to live in a world that's run by Jesus, who is the best person that's ever lived, who loved you so much that even though you're a dirty sinner, he died for you, and not just died, he was crucified after being tortured. He's cool, all right? I mean, and not just that. I mean, he's a cool guy, right? He's the coolest guy. So the world, if you want to live in that world, and I'll go into some of the reasons why it's better, like why this world sucks, and why that world will be better in the next video, but got cut off at the end there. Just get down on your knees, ask for His Spirit, and ask for forgiveness. He'll give you His Spirit, and then you'll know. And then just do your best. do your best, seek God, fear God, for that is man's all. Or fear God and keep his commandments, for that is man's all. Everything else is a waste of time. This world exists. Like, your purpose here is to find God, and that's the only thing. It is literally the only thing that you have to do. There is nothing that is more important. There's only one thing that is important. If you're not with Jesus, if you don't know him, that is literally the only thing that's important. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video.